Hello everyone, my name is Maciej Wiczk and I work as a Python developer in Nordea. Today I'm going to present you the RFHUB2, a new take on a robot framework asset documentation. But before presenting you the tool itself, let me first tell you the story that lies behind creation of it. You see, robot framework is fairly easy to be extended. We often found ourselves in a situation where it was easier for us to add a new keyword instead of finding the one that existed already. As you can imagine, such a situation led to many quarrels over the pull request review, and we wasted our energy and time. Let us now imagine a situation where we are a new tester, we are joining an existing project, and we are checking out the repository that existed for some time. Let me switch to my desktop now. If you are using Red like me, you know where to find libraries that are installed. However, things can get a bit trickier if you are going to look for keywords that are stored in the resource files or robot files. Let's take this repository for example. In a small project like this, it's fairly easy. You go through the tests, you go through the acceptance, resources, and you have your keywords. You can see all the keywords in the files, there's not so much of them. However, in real-life scenarios, we will have more complicated projects with more complicated tests, with many keywords distributed in various keywords files and in various repositories. From experience, it's impossible to track all of the repositories and changes and be familiar with every keyword. So we end up not finding the one we need and creating our own. Such an approach turns out to be highly ineffective. We are spending plenty of time when we are looking for a keyword. We are spending a lot of time when we are creating our own keywords, and even more time is spent when we got the pull request comments and we are implementing the comments because we created keywords that already existed. And lastly, we are making sure that our test works. Having in mind all of that, together with my colleagues, we set ourselves on a mission to regain the lost time. First of all, we started looking for existing solutions. And we found out that something like we need existed already. It was RobotFramework Hub by Brian Oakley. The tool was working great. However, after some time, we hit few obstacles on our way. The first one was when we decided to migrate our test from Python 2.7 into Python 3. After analyzing the codebase, we came into conclusion that we will fork the RobotFramework Hub and migrate it to the Python 3. Unfortunately, our joy didn't last long. You see, RobotFramework Hub is designed in a way that keywords database is tied to the application itself. Since we deployed this application to the Kubernetes cluster, we had to recreate a Docker image every single time a new keyword was introduced. As you can imagine, we ended up quickly consuming the registry space and we made our devs very angry with that. Due to that, we went back to our drawing board and we came up with a solution that you might expect. We chose to create our own RFHUB. Together with Paweł Belicki, the main RFHUB2 author, Marcin Maciaszek and me, we went to look for the technologies that will suit our project. On the front end, we have chosen Material UI to make sure our application looks fresh and nice. On the backend part, we are using Fast API, a high-performance Python framework. For database communication, we are using the SQL, the most popular ORM framework in Python. All of that is served by a UV-Corn, a lightning-fast ASGI server implementation and packed into the Docker image. Finally, let me present the RFHUB2 itself. Let's take a look at the first page of the application. On the top of the table in the middle, you will see the number of loaded collections. By collections, we mean a library or a resource file. In the first column, you will see the collection's name, then you will see the collection's type, version, and amount of keywords that this particular resource or library has. As you see, there is one more column, but we will get back to this column later on. Now, let us take a deep dive into the operating system documentation. Let's click here, and voila! You will see a detailed view of the operating system library. Just under the collection name, you will see repeated information about its version, followed by the scope and a path. The path is especially useful when it comes to the resource files, because with that information you will be able to import them in your test easily. A bit lower you will find the documentation of the library that is coming from the constructor. Let's scroll through it. Plenty of examples. Let us now dive deeper in the keywords table. In the first two columns you will see the keyword name and the argument it is accepting. In the third column we are presenting tags if keyword has any, and in the fourth column we are presenting the keywords documentation with the examples. If a detailed view is too much for you and you would like to have just a quick glance over the keywords that are stored in a particular library, there is a view for you. Just click on the hamburger menu on the left and pick the library you are interested in. Let's choose the Selenium library, for example. After clicking on it, you will see the list of keywords that are stored in the library. If you find a keyword that is interesting for you and you would like to know more about it, just click on it and you will be redirected to the documentation detailed view. Browsing documentation is very nice. However, searching through it is even better. This is where the RFHUB2 shines. Let's use the search bar. Let's type close into it. Now you will see a list of the keywords that has the close in its name or in its description. To narrow down the results only to those keywords containing close in their names, let's switch our search phrase into that. Now you will see only the keywords that contains close in their names. If there are still too many hits for you, you can narrow down the search result even more. Let's now utilize the in operator. The in operator will scan also the collection's name to hit the one that you are interested in. Let us now extend our search query. As you see, as a result, you are getting only the keywords with a close in their name coming from the SSH library collection. Let's leave search for now. Let's see how you can install the application and run it for yourself. After obtaining application from pip, you can run it using the RFHUB2 command. This command will trigger the Alembic migration and then will start the server part, which you can access from the localhost 8000 port. Let's now navigate to the localhost 8000. You will now see the empty application with no data in it. In order to change that, let's go back to the terminal. In order to fill the server part with the data, we need to invoke the CLI. The CLI is invoked using the rfhub2-cli command. The dot on the end of the command is optional. It tells the RFHUB2 CLI to scan the current directories with its subdirectories. Let's now run the command. Under the hood, the CLI is looking for every keyword and it's adding it to the server. You can see it on the left side. On the right side, you will see the library name and number of keywords that was loaded. After literally no time at all, you see that 12 collections with 351 keywords was loaded into the server. After refreshing the application, you will see all of the keywords being displayed. There is also another kind of data that RFHUB2 can consume. This is something we are calling statistics. They are coming from the output XML files that are produced by the RobotFramework tests. After running this command, the CLI will scan for every output XML file, it will gather the statistics and send them to the server. You see, 2 files were found with 90 statistics. The statistics mode is used to populate the times used column. Now let's refresh the page again and see it's populated. On a collection level, times used is telling us how many times each library were used. On a detailed level, you will see how many times each keyword were used and how much time does it take for it to finish. This information proved to be useful in 2 ways. One way is that we are able to find out which libraries are slowing us down and we are able to address the performance issue. The other thing is that we are able to track down the libraries that are not used anymore and to get rid of them. With all that, we succeeded in our mission to regain the lost time. If you would like to contribute, please don't hesitate to visit the GitHub repository or just to download the software and use it. Hopefully you will find it as enjoyable as I did. On behalf of the whole RFHUB2 team, thank you very much for attention.
Hey, Maciej, welcome to RoboCon.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. So let's just jump right into the questions. First one is from Zoom. Sammy wants to know, does it support XML format library documentation? Example from remote library.
Yes, so RFHUB2 is using the libdoc underneath, so anything libdoc can consume is working.
Awesome. So Tatu wants to know, so you support importing libraries from custom module search path?
Yes, we can consume the libraries based on each path or from the place they are installed. Currently, I'm working on a feature that will import the library by its name if it's installed on the machine.
Yes, I think you answered this already with the other question was, does it support browser library? It sounds like it does.
I haven't tested with the browser library, but I believe it does. I will check that out soon.
Awesome, cool. Can we use RFHUB2 to result files analysis across a team? I mean, results from different machines.
Yes, you can do that, but actually it's working on a high level. I would call it like that. It's giving you the helicopter view. It's not taking the keyword from the each team. It's rather consuming all the keywords by its name and comparing the average time and producing the average time and the number of time it was used. You can consume the files from various machines and put them into one centralized RFHUB2 instance.
Great. Next question is from Dipak. Wants to know, can we selectively include exclude file to generate documentation?
No, that is not yet there. But if you'd like to have it, we can think of an issue and to incorporate that into RFHUB2. No problem.
Nice. Sarah wants to know, so this can be used to make sense and easily navigate masses and masses of custom keywords?
Yes, exactly. That is the purpose of the RFHUB2, because we have plenty of keywords that cannot be put as an open source, but you would like to navigate users and encourage them to find the one that are not deprecated and the one that are intended to be used.
Great. What about custom library?
Yeah. If libdoc handles that, we handle that too. So we are using RobotFramework underneath, and we are handling that. Just to go back to the previous question, in my corporate environment, we are using more than 300 resources with around 3,500 keywords, and it's working very fast thanks to the FAST API.
Awesome. Someone wants to know, can I hook RFHUB2 into my CI/CD process?
Yes, I encourage you to do that. In my company, we do that with every commit on various repositories. We are updating the database and the RFHUB2 with the new keywords. And there is actually a pretty cool compare mechanism that will save you time, and only the new keywords would be added.
Great. Can we use RFHUB2 to display keywords from Git project directly instead of a machine?
That's interesting. We are checking out the repositories and we are cloning them into the machine we are running the RFHUB2 CLI from. So I don't know yet, but I will figure this out today.
Cool. I guess along the same lines, Marm wants to know, is there a way for RFHUB to consume output XML files from Jenkins RF runs, i.e. the files are Jenkins artifacts?
Yes, it can consume it. Only you need to be able to provide the path to the files for the RFHUB2 CLI. So you can include that step into the Jenkins pipeline, for example, as a last step, like after or something.
Great. And time for one last question. Any plans to put this type of information for the keyword arguments?
Keyword arguments are handled and are displayed. We are also supporting the types of an argument. So maybe I misunderstood the question, but you could reach me out in the dark speakers corner, maybe at 6 o'clock, because I would like to, attend all the presentations.
Absolutely. Sounds good. And with that, Maciej, thank you so much. I know it's a small amount of time, but as you mentioned, people can definitely check you out in the speaker section for any other questions they might have. Thank you so much for this session. Really appreciate it. And thank you all you do for RoboCon this year. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. Cheers.